Hey everyone, and a massive welcome to the team. We're so glad you're here. We're going to jump right in and get you acquainted with the Tomofun data platform. You can think of it as the engine that really powers everything we do. It's how we understand our users and, how we make our biggest business decisions. So let's get started. All right, so here's a quick look at our game plan for this tour. First, we'll start with a bird's eye view of the whole data platform. Then we'll zoom in on the specific tools you'll be using day to day: Mixpanel, Braze, and Tableau. After that, we'll talk about the powerhouse behind it all, Databricks. And to finish up, we'll cover what you need to know to get going. Okay, first things first, let's look at the big picture. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of each individual tool, it's super important to understand how all these different pieces fit together. How the entire ecosystem works as one. This image right here, it's a really great, simple breakdown of our whole setup. For most of you, your world will revolve around three main tools. You've got Braze, which is all about how we communicate with our customers. Then there's Mixpanel, for getting a handle on how people are actually using our app. And finally, Tableau, where we turn data into powerful visualizations. But the key thing to remember is that the heart of the entire operation, the thing that makes it all tick, is Databricks. We like to call it the super brain of the whole system. Now, this chart shows the journey our data takes. We get data coming in from all over the place, from the Furbo camera itself, from our website, our e-commerce stores, you name it. All of that raw information flows right into Databricks for what we call a big bath, which is just our fun way of saying we clean it all up. Once it's sparkling clean and reliable, we send it out to the tools where it's needed most. So the finance team might look at it in Tableau, while our product team pretty much lives and breathes the data inside Mixpanel. All right, let's zoom in on that first tool we mentioned, Mixpanel. This one is absolutely critical, especially for our product teams. It's how we get a crystal clear picture of what our users are actually doing inside the app and which features they're engaging with the most. The great thing about Mixpanel is how simple it is at its core. Everything really just boils down to two concepts: users and events. That's it. A user is just the who, the person using our app. And an event is the what, the specific action they took, like clicking a button or viewing a screen. If you can remember who and what, you've pretty much got Mixpanel figured out. And check this out. This is where that simple who and what model gets really powerful. What you're looking at here is the live view in Mixpanel. This means we can literally watch in real time every single interaction a user has with the Furbo app. Every tap, every swipe, you name it. This gives us this incredible, immediate insight into what features people are loving, and just as importantly, where they might be getting a little stuck. Okay, let's move on to our next big tool. This one is all about building strong relationships with our customers. So let's talk about Braze. This is our go-to platform for all things customer engagement. One of the coolest things about Braze is that it lets us have one single unified conversation with each of our customers. It doesn't matter if we're reaching them through an email, a push notification on their phone, or a message right inside the app. Braze makes sure it all feels connected and cohesive, like one seamless conversation. And we take that a step further with something Braze calls journeys. What are those? Well, they're basically automated, super personalized experiences that react to what a customer does. So, for example, if a user tries out a new feature for the first time, we can automatically send them a quick tip or a thank you message. It's all about making sure our customers get the right message at exactly the right moment. All right, next up, Tableau. I really like this analogy. If Databricks is a brain and Mixpanel and Braze are the arms that interact with our users, then Tableau is definitely the eyes. This is how we take mountains of raw data and transform it all into clear, visual insights that actually help us make smarter decisions. So in Tableau, you're generally going to see two main kinds of dashboards. On one side, you've got your analytics dashboards. Think of these as the deep dive tools for our data teams. They're interactive and packed with details so you can really dig in. On the other side, you have executive dashboards. These are the complete opposite. Simple, high level, and designed to show our key metrics at a glance for quick decision-making. And this slide shows that difference perfectly. Just look at them. On the left, you've got a sales dashboard for an analyst. See how it's packed with charts and filters? That's built for exploration. Now look at the right, that's an executive dashboard. It's super clean, super simple, and just gives you the crucial numbers right away. Both are incredibly important, they're just built for totally different audiences. And finally, let's pull back the curtain and look at the core of our entire system, Databricks. I've mentioned it a few times, but this platform is truly the foundation for everything we've just looked at. So, yeah, we keep calling it a super brain.
And that's honestly the best way to describe it. It's this one unified platform where we do, well, everything with data. We store raw data there, we clean it up, we run all kinds of complex analyses, and it's even where we build our most advanced AI models. It's the whole shebang, all in one place.
So you might be wondering, okay, but how do you make sure all this data is actually reliable? That's a great question. We use a system called the medallion architecture. Data comes in totally raw and messy. We call that the bronze layer. Then it goes through a cleaning and validation process, and it graduates to the silver layer. Finally, when it's all ready for business use, we aggregate it into the gold layer. It's this step-by-step refinement process that guarantees that whenever you look at a number in Tableau, you can trust that the data behind it is solid. Okay, we start in the Databricks SQL editor. Think of this as the main workspace for data analysts. Here, you can just write regular SQL to ask questions of your data, and autocomplete helps you do it fast. Once the code looks good, you just run it to pull the information you need.
And there you go. The results show up in a neat table, which is perfect for just checking the data.
This is great for the details, but what about spotting a pattern or a trend?
Now here's what's really cool. That data can be instantly turned into a chart. See, it brilliantly shows the trends in the data, making them super easy to spot. So you need some data support, but you're not sure where to start? No problem. It really just boils down to two main paths, one for big projects and one for smaller requests. Okay, first up, let's look at the workflow for those large-scale projects. We use this circular process to make sure our major projects really hit the mark. It all kicks off during our quarterly planning, where we gather everyone's data pain points. Then we all huddle up to define the core problem and prioritize what needs to be done. As we go, we're constantly reviewing to make sure the output is exactly what you need. And finally, we share the results and collect feedback to make the next quarter even better. All right, but what about smaller, more immediate needs? That process is even simpler. This is our straightforward 4-step workflow designed for a really quick turnaround. It's super easy. Discuss, request, review, and then close. Done and done. Now this is key. For that request step, please submit a ticket through Jira. So, just to recap, use a project workflow for big strategic needs and Jira for ad hoc requests. Following these paths helps us get you the most value from our data. Simple as that. And that wraps up our whirlwind tour of the Tomofun data platform. Scan the QR code for detailed links and contact info for our data team partners. Welcome to the team.